Also, I'm Watanabe Shinji, Kudo Daidojuku Shihan, and also Yuiga Karate Renshi. Today, I'll explain Pinan Nidan, which is called Heian Shodan in Shotokan. The kata I practice are Naihanchi, Seisan, and Pinan Nidan. Generally, Seisan is practiced after fully understanding and mastering Naihanchi, and Pinan Nidan is practiced after mastering Seisan. This means that among these three katas, Pinan Nidan has the most advanced and difficult movements. Some people may be surprised to hear this, but it's true. I'll say it again, Pinan Nidan is a highly advanced and difficult kata. Most karate katas have unknown origins. We don't know when, where, or how they were created. But Pinan katas are an exception. As many of you may know, around 1900s, Pinan katas were created by Ito's uncle, who based on older katas such as Kusanku and incorporated elements of physical education, or in more modern terms, fitness exercise. Because of this history, some people criticize the Pinan katas, saying they are no good. This criticism is especially directed at Pinan Nidan, as its movements often look simple and repetitive. They think this is not useful in a real fight. It's just a fitness routine. But that idea is completely wrong. The reason why Pinan kata has simple and repetitive movements is because it's a tanden kata, kata for training, not a jisen kata, kata for fighting. In other words, the repetitive movements tell us this movement is extremely important, so practice it over and over again. Some styles and people think that Pinan Nidan is an easy kata for beginners. But in my opinion, this is a big mistake. I hope today's video will help you to think about this kata in a different way. Alright, let's get started. Os. Now, I'll show you my Yuigaryu Pinan Nidan. I'm still researching and improving my understanding of this kata. So, in the future, my movements may change a little or not. The version I'll show you today is my current approach to Pinan Nidan. Pinan Nidan. Well, like this. And as always, the problem is what is the meaning of each movement and how can it be useful in the actual combat? We have to understand it. As I mentioned earlier, Pinan Nidan is practiced with a foundation of knowledge from Naihanchi and Seisan. So I'll explain it in that order. In the Shurite or Tomarite lineage, the most fundamental and essential kata is Naihanchi. Naihanchi teaches us how to use two crucial powers in karate, centrifugal force and CO's center of gravity shift. Without mastering Naihanchi, practicing other katas is almost meaningless. In general, a longer weapon gives you an advantage. Your opponent's attack cannot reach you, but your attack can reach them. Then it will be an easy fight. Naihanchi teaches you how to use centrifugal force and COG system, starting at close range and gradually increasing that distance. Once you have mastered Naihanchi, you move on to Seisan. Seisan teaches you how to use the centrifugal force and COG shifting you learned in Naihanchi to extend it forward over longer distance. It also introducing continuous strikes with steps. Downward strikes and strikes with dark steps to develop more practical fighting skills. After mastering Seisan, you can finally start learning Pinan Nidan, while Seisan focuses on learning movements of the rear hand. Pinan Nidan uses the front hand to pull the COG of your body forward, up, down, and down. And you learn to do this with open hands as well. By combining these movements with footwork, you develop a very long weapon. This is the meaning of Pinan Nidan. How was it? Then, next, let's take a closer look at one of the main movements in Pinan Nidan, the movement from Nidan Barai to Oi-zuki. First, the Oi-zuki itself. It feels unnatural, doesn't it? When I first started learning karate over 40 years ago in Kyokushin, I also thought this punch feels so unnatural. I can't put much power into it, and I can't imagine it being useful in kumite. In fact, in Kyokushin kumite, because face punches are not allowed, you fight at close range. So, Junzuki and Gyakuzuki are used. But Oi-zuki is rarely seen. However, after joining Taidojuku and learning about long-range fighting, and after studying old-style karate, I finally understood the value of Oi-zuki. The principle is simple. A longer weapon is better. Oi-zuki is the punch that reaches to the furthest, fastest, and strongest. So, here is how to do Oi-zuki properly. First, you do a gedan barai here. This will pull your COG down and forward, then leaving your arm and body here. Just move your leg forward. Yes, this is a choice movement. Then punch. Of course, when you punch, you are pulling the body's COG with your arm. your body will rotate slightly. This time, the axis of rotation will be in front of your body. This Pinan Nidan Oi-zuki is very difficult. What was the key to the old karate movements? Yes, it's about using the COZ of your arm to move the COZ of your whole body. Naihanchi and Seisan follow this principle. In Naihanchi, you strike by moving the weight you've created here with your arms. In Seisan, you punch by creating the weight here with your arms and using that weight. But in Pinan Nidan, there is no real weight in front of you. You have to imagine a virtual weight and use that imaginary weight to power your movements. Do you understand? Pinan Nidan is a very advanced and difficult kata. On the other hand, many people who think that Pinan Nidan is an easy kata for beginners and useless for actual combat make the following mistaken movements. Stabilize your body and move both arms to perform Nidan ballet. Move your whole body forward directly without fixing the arm in this position. Stabilize your body and move the hikite strongly and punch. Yes, they are right. This movement is easy and useless for actual combat because no COC shift power or Jojutsu movement. The problem is not in the Pinan Nidan kata. It is in not understanding the movements. As long as you move like this, whether it is Pasai or Kusanku, you will not be able to utilize the kata in actual combat. Incidentally, this is the type of movement required in kata competitions. This movement is balanced, seemingly powerful and beautiful. It is a correct movement for performance art. By trying to perform this movement faster and stronger, your athletic ability will increase and you may even become stronger in actual combat as a result. But it is fundamentally different from the original karate movement. And the body turns, Tai Sabaki, are also more advanced in Pinan Nidan than in Naihanchi or Seisan. In Naihanchi, there are no turns. In Seisan, you have 90-degree and 180-degree turns. In Pinan Nidan, you also have 270-degree turns and 180-degree turns while moving. You even see 45-degree turns and 105-degree turns. And these body turns were also able to use the actual weight of the arms in Seisan. But not in Pinan Nidan. So you have to create a vertical center of gravity to move. It is a very difficult movement. Last but not least, Pinan Nidan is a Tanren Kata. So you basically don't have to think about that bunkai. But if you consider fighting with weapons, this Gedan Barai to Oi-zuki move is also a very realistic and important move. As you can see in the video here, the original karate is based on the premise that there is a weapon. And then, if you don't have a weapon, you can fight with the same physical manipulation as when you hold a weapon. That is the original karate. Also, that's all for today. If you found it interesting or informative, please like and leave a comment. The next video is weapons part 2 about bow. So stay tuned. Os.